In this video, we will take you through the registration process for the BIC Global Container Geofence Library. It is a similar process to signing up for any of the other BIC digital services, such as BoxTec and BIC facility codes. First, we will take a look at the Geofence Library Review tool. This tool provides a list of pending geofences that require review and approval by the Industry Review Panel. You can easily navigate here without being logged in, as indicated in the top right. We can view geofences that have been submitted already, and we can review them as part of the panel process. To make a contribution, adding either a correction to this geofence or suggesting another by drawing a new one, we need to be registered to have permission to request a geofence. Therefore, what we're going to do is simply click the sign up button at the top here, and you'll be presented with the registration form. Some simple details are required to create a registration, filled in as an example here. You will additionally need to tick this box at the bottom to request contributor access to the Geofence library, but this is automatically ticked by default when signing up. Complete the CAPTCHA and tick to accept the terms and conditions. These are passed through to the BIC website for review and acceptance. You should shortly receive an email, but allow a few minutes if this does not appear immediately. Next, you must confirm your email address from the welcome email you have received. This is just verifying that the email you are using belongs to you. You should be redirected back to the Geofence library, where you can now log in using your credentials. Now that you're logged in, you can see the options are to log out again or apply for permissions. We do not need to apply for permissions at this time, as we are already possessing the contributor role as seen here. This feature exists in case you need to request contribution access because you have signed up from another BIC service such as BoxTec. Now that registration is complete, we are ready to create a request for the Geofence library. The example we will be using for this video is editing a geofence that has already been contributed. We will be using an SMDG Ocean terminal as opposed to a BIC facility code. Ocean terminals require 2 geofences: the land-based facility where the containers and cranes are located, and the berthing area where the vessels are to be loaded and unloaded with containers. Executing a quick search by country allows us to bring up all assets within Italy, listed with provider here as either BIC or SMDG. BIC being the inland container depots, and SMDG for the ocean terminals to separately manage code lists. All provide the same functionality within the tool. We are going to look at this Roma terminal container. If we click onto this facility, we can identify the SMDG code ITCVV, your low code, and RTC, which is the SMDG extension for this facility. If we zoom in and switch to satellite view, we can confirm that we are looking at the right facility, Roma Terminal Spa, which matches the code list. As we are logged in as a contributor, we have the ability to provide geofences. Scrolling down, we can see that a suggestion has been made to add a berth to this facility, which is currently preventing from being approved. Further down, we can also see the third-party map with suggestions. Wherever we have a publicly accessible geofence, the library will pull the top 3 nearby third-party geofences closest to the registered GPS location of the facility. Out of the 3 potential matches, this one, named RTC, looks like our best fit. Clicking Copy Geofence copies all of the data onto our clipboard, meaning we won't have to draw all of the points from scratch. We simply need to add the berth. Next, we will navigate to the GeoJSON tool. For this facility, the GeoJSON tool is already populated from a previous session. It's important to always clear this out when beginning a new one, allowing us to paste the geofence we copied to our clipboard. It's a match. This is a high-quality geofence that has been made available from a public source, so all we need to do is expand it to include the birth area. If adjustments were required, simply clicking on this pencil tool allows us to click any of the points on the geofence to make adjustments as needed. We won't need to in this case, but we will need to include the additional berth. On the map we can see cruise ships further down, which we will not include in our area. Typically, we look for crane areas, adding a berth that extends out to at least a ship's width or to the end of the cranes. To do this, we will use the polygon tool. Creating a point at the end coming out to the end of the crane where vessels will be. And dragging it across to the end of the berth area. Clicking back to our initial point completes the geofence. Here, ours is slightly out of shape, so we will need to edit this point and pull it in neatly. Now we're happy with our berth and facility geofences, we will click Copy in the top right, head back to the Geofence Review tool, check that we're on the right code, and paste the generated JSON code into the designated box. The final check on the map to the left indicates our geofences are correct. We do not have experience of this facility in person. As seen, we used a third-party provided geofence, so we will leave the review panel option selected. And importantly, add a note of where the original geofence was taken from and denoted what we have added. Adding remarks is optional, but it helps in the review process for geofence facilities. Submitting the request will bring up this window. Because we have two geofences for the SMDG facility, we need to identify which is the facility and which is the berth. If the facility was in North America under IANA, the other option available to us would be to draw truck queues. For BIC, facilities is just the facility, and here with SMDG we are concerned with the facility and the berthing area. Confirming our request sends it to the geofence review panel and reloads the page. We can now see the original suggestion, and below this is our submitted and colour-coded submission that includes the facility and the berth, meeting SMDG requirements. Thank you for watching this video. Please get in contact if you have any further questions.